Hey everybody, it's Teacher Tuesday, and you know what that means. We're going to go over a really awesome pattern, and I'll show you how to get it done. But first, really exciting news. The Recaptured Values family, me, my husband, my daughter, we are expecting a little boy. Supposed to be due next May sometime, maybe late April, early May. But we're super excited. We have a daughter, so now we're going to be adding a little boy into the family. Make sure that you check out, I'm going to point up here to the link here to our family channel if you guys want to follow along with our journey as to what's going on behind the scenes of Recaptured Values, all things family. Go over there, and our next video we're actually going to be sharing his name, so if you want to know that information, go follow our family channel. All right, so moving on. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I know a lot of people watch our videos, but make sure you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell because YouTube will alert you when we post a new video, so you'll never miss any of our videos if you subscribe and hit the notification bell. So make sure you do that before you get started with this video. All right, so today we are going to be learning how to make the Footie, I think they're called Footie Leggings from Brindle and Twig patterns. And so this is what it looks like. This is the newborn size. And they go up to, I think 5 to 6 is what all their patterns, the little ones go to, 5 to 6. So preemie to 5 to 6, I believe. It's a really cute pattern. So here is the legging part. And you have a foot top part and a foot sole part. These are really cute. They do have an elastic waist. So you'll need 3/4 inch elastic for the waist. I'm going to be using 1/2 inch elastic because it's all I could find right now. It'll work just fine. I just don't recommend doing bigger than 3/4 elastic. So here's what you need. This one you will cut mirrored images, as it says, cut with pattern facing up and cut with pattern facing down. You could do that just folding one piece of fabric, folding it, putting the pattern down on the folded piece, and then cutting all around the fabric. You'll get 2 mirrored images. And then these do not have to be cut on a mirrored image, but you do need 2 of this and 2 of this. All right, so let's see what I've already got cut out here. So I'm going to be using this really cute camo fabric. It is double brush poly. As far as compliance goes, double brush poly is exempt from testing, so you can use it. Now, as far as safety for using it with newborns, it's totally preference. It's up to the seller. Just make sure you're tagging your products with the right fabric type. I do say that I would not make an entire garment out of double brush poly for a newborn, but as far as like pants or maybe a shirt or little booties, maybe, you know, like single items made of double brush poly is just fine. But they say that because it's a synthetic fiber and it's a little bit harder to breathe through. It's not as breathable. People tend to get hot in double brush poly. So for a winter baby, this would be perfect, honestly, because I don't feel like it's much different than fleece in my opinion. And they make fleece pajamas and people put their kids in that all the time. But again, it's totally preference. But I'm making these for our little boy, so I'm using double brush poly. So this is what it looks like when you do 2 mirrored images. As you can see, this is the back because it's going to be higher rise than the front. And then here is the little crotch points here. And then here is the little toe curve here and here. All right, so what you are going to do now is, these are the 2 pieces. I've got them folded. I cut them on a fold here. So the 2 pieces. What you're going to do, I'm going to unfold them here. And I'm going to fold them in half. And I'm going to make a notch. The pattern actually shows you where to make the notch. I like to go ahead and just make it myself with my snippers instead of cutting, because I feel like I cut too much when I do it that way. So you do a snip in the middle on that curved edge there. Same thing here. Snip there. And then you're going to want to make a snip on your toe here. And that's just kind of like quartering. We're just making sure that we'll match up the middle point here and stretch adequately to add this toe part on. You do the same thing over here with this one. All right. So there we go. So we got our toe pieces. And then your foot pieces here, you're going to do the same thing with both of them. I'm just going to fold them together like this. This way. And you need to find the top and the bottom here so that we can match them up when we get ready to add those. All right, so what you're gonna do here is you're gonna add them right sides together. So here's my toe curve right here and right here. See if I can get you guys closer. Hopefully you guys can see better now. But here's the toe curve, and we've made that little snip right in the middle there. And you're gonna take your curve piece here, match up the point that you made. Remember, it's right sides together. Match up that point that you made. And then do the same thing with this one. Toe curve here. And you got the little snip in the middle that we just made with your snip that you made in the curve. And then you're going to cut. You have to stretch just a little bit to make this work when you curve or serge around this edge here. I'm going to use my serger. You can absolutely use a zigzag stitch. I like to shorten the width of my zigzag stitch when I do, if I use my sewing machine. I typically don't because I have a serger that makes everything super easy. So you can pin it if you need to. I'm not going to pin it. And I'm going to go over to the serger and show you guys what I do next. Alright, so here is the serger. I use a Brother 1034D. Alright, so I'm not going to pin it, but I am going to just go ahead and pull this just like this. Pull it straight to where all the edges line up. And then I'm just going to do a little curve. And then just make sure the other side lines up here. And if you need to like pull it straight, you can. Going around the curve straight, you can absolutely do that. They'll curve back up when you're ready to do it. They will curve back up when you need them to curve back up. That's how that goes, and let's do the other toe. So again, you will just make sure that that edge is lined up and the middle still put together, and you just pull it to make it match up. It shouldn't require too much stretching because it is pretty good. All right, so that's that. So what you're gonna do now, super simple, is go ahead, curve this down so you can see what I'm doing. What you're gonna do now is fold your pants over like so. And you're going to do the leg seam here. You're going to leave the crotch curve open, and you're just going to do the leg seam here. And how you can determine what the leg seam is, obviously, is going to be the one with the toe that we just added. But another way to find out is the front and the back of the top part is going to be different. So fold it again here. This is the other one. Fold it over. All right, and so we're just gonna serge that really fast. Hope you guys can see that. All right, and again, if you need to use pins, and if you don't have a serger, use a zigzag stitch on a sewing machine. I don't think I added, but the seam allowance is 1/4 inch, so. So that one's done. Then we'll do this next one. I'm gonna start at the foot with this one. Just make sure your edges are still lined up. Even if you use pins, double check and make sure that your edges are still lined up. Alright, so now what you're going to do is add your sole here to your foot. So what you're going to need to do is go ahead and match up those side seams on your leg here and here. Match up those. You get the middle back of the foot, make a snip, and then you'll get the middle front of the toe, make a snip, and then we've already done the sole of the foot. Then you're going to put it right sides together like this. Match it up with the top snip that you made, which is here, and then the back snip, which is here, And then you will need some pins for this one. It's just a little bit more difficult to hold on to. I'm gonna go ahead and pin it right here so that that stays put, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and hold this one. And so you guys can see what I'm doing. I've opened up the toe here and I'm adding the sole, and you're just gonna serge all around, making sure that you catch everything in this seam here. All right, so make sure it's matching up. And I'm gonna start right there. All right, and once you get it under and the needle goes through it, you don't have to worry so much about it. And then just go around. Like I said, make sure that you get everything in this so that all your raw edges are lined up. And you're just gonna go around the circle. Remove your pin. Almost back to where I started. Making sure not to wrinkle it. Snip it, and then you can tuck your tail here so that it doesn't bother baby or child if you're making bigger. I've actually thought about making some of these for my daughter because she can't keep socks in this house. I'm sure that's common for most people, but so that's the inside of the foot now. There's a little piece there, but that's the inside of the foot for one leg. And so let's do the other one really fast, the exact same way. So we'll have to make our pieces here. So that's the back, middle back of the foot. And then here it's the middle of the toe. And then again, I'm just going to use one pin. You can use however many pins that you are comfortable with using until you get more comfortable not using them. But it's totally up to you, to be honest. Do whatever makes it easier for you. I'm all about finding your way to do these things. Because there's not just one way to do everything. So I hope you feel inspired when you watch these videos, because not everybody does it the same way, and that's perfectly okay. Alright, as long as the result's the same, or maybe even a little different, maybe even better, you never know. Alright, starting in the back, and like I said, I always like to put the needle through the fabric, make sure that it goes in before I start adjusting, because it will just pull right out of the sewing machine if you do that. Alright, remove my pin. Alright, about to go back over where I started. Tuck in my tail, and then that will just put the legs in each other to sew the crotch curve, and then add the elastic, and we'll be done. This one's really simple. I like this pattern, plus it is perfect for little bitty babies because they need little socks, and it's hard to keep their little sockies on because they kick their feet. Okay, so here is one of the legs. I'm going to go ahead and flip one out, and flip one right side out, and I'm going to keep one inside out. Alright, so here's the little foot. It's so cute. That's the little foot for the legging. It's so cute. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put your inside out one like this. Open up that part. And then you're going to put your right side one inside the inside out one. So basically, you'll be putting them right sides together, as you can see, because the right side's together here. So once you get them in there, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to match up the back here, the back waist, and the front waist. And then you're going to serge or zigzag stitch this curved edge here. This part right here, this part all the way to the crotch here, back to the back. And then you will open it up and your pants will be done. All you have to do is add the elastic. So let's go ahead and go back over here. And you just sew the entire crotch curve here. Not the straight line, the curve. And so the most important thing to do here is just to make sure that your crotch is lined up on both sides. I do like to nest those seams, which means I make one seam go this way and one seam face me. It is a little bit more difficult with a serger because it typically likes to push the seam as it goes through the feed dogs, but it's just optional. All right. Curve is sewn, so let's flip this around. You don't have to tuck any of those tails because they're going to go under the elastic, so it's not going to matter. So now you can flip this right side out, the whole thing right side out. Ooh, I gotta put stuff on my shirt. Fuzzy wuzzies. Alright, so there's the other foot. And then here is the cute little leggings, the cute little footed leggings, okay? And so now what you're going to need to do is quarter your edge, or you already got 2 points for your seam. You just need to make your side points here. And this is just going to make it easier to attach your elastic. Boom. And boom. Alright. Alright, I've switched to my machine here. The elastic, like I said, I'm going to be using 1/2 inch elastic, but it calls for 3/4 inch elastic. The measurement for the elastic is found in the chart in the pattern. So make sure that you look at that to determine what size elastic you need to cut for your size that you're making. Mine is 13 inches because it's the newborn. I like to do a zigzag stitch. Here and here, and all I did was overlap my elastic here. I just overlapped it. Why is it? I just overlapped it about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. I'm just securing my elastic in a loop here, and then I'll cut this off, and let's go back over to the serger to add the elastic, and then we'll top stitch it down with the sewing machine again. You will need pins for this part, and you will need like a marker. So I like to quarter up my elastic. I use the back part here. I like to put it in the back. Just have it, whatever you want to do. Then pull it over here to that. Match those 2 points up. You get your side points. All right, so then I'm going to flip these inside out again. You don't have to flip them all the way inside out, but I like to add it to the to the wrong side of the garment. All right, so I'm going to flip them back this way, and I like to start at the back. I like to put the back point in the back. Just preference, it doesn't have to be done. That's just what I like to do. And I like to leave a 1/4 inch from the edge of my elastic. See, I'm leaving a 1/4 inch up here. That is because I like to cut that off with my serger and get as close to the elastic without actually cutting it as possible. All right, go around to the edge here, to that little side point we snipped. Again, leave a 1/4 inch above it. If you're using a serger, if you're using a sewing machine, you don't have to leave anything above it. You can put the elastic on the edge if you want. I just do it because it helps me get a really close cut. Again, put the seam right up against the elastic without cutting it. All right, so here is the next point. And I'm not going to pin this one because I'm going to take the pin off anyway when I put it underneath the serger. So last point here. So what you're going to do is you're going to pay attention to where you put this in. Make sure that your knife here is just right beside the elastic. Not cutting the elastic, let's see. Not cutting the elastic, but just right here beside it. Because you want to cut off that 1/4 inch that you left on top, and it'd be right beside the elastic. Alright, so as we go around, we'll just remove the pins. You may have to stretch it just a little bit. I know you will have to stretch it, actually. I said just a little bit, but you will have to stretch it. But that's the whole point of quartering, because you know exactly how much you need to stretch. You won't have it looking weird or wonky. So pull it just enough to lay flat. Remove your pins as you go. The last point here. Pull my tail out. Just gonna go right back over where I started. Cut my tail, tuck it, and then we'll go to the sewing machine and we'll add our tag and top stitch this elastic down, and we'll be done. We're at the sewing machine, and I'm going to just use a zigzag stitch. Regular zigzag stitch is what I'm going to use. I'm going to pin the middle, make sure that my seam's lined up here, and then let me grab these pins over here. I'm going to pin the back. Alright, and then what I like to do is I just like to stretch, make sure that the fabric is laying flat, and then pin it here. And then you can do another one here if you want to. I'm just going to start right here on the side with it stretched like this. Then you'll put this down like this, and I'm just doing a zigzag stitch. And you'll stretch, only make sure it's flat. Once you get it on there, you can pull to the next point here. Just making sure that everything's flat and not wrinkled. And if you need to go through and pull, you can. I like to go ahead and just make sure you don't stab yourself. I like to go ahead and use this hand to kind of pull the fabric through. Don't pull too tight, don't pull too much, because if you pull, it'll affect the length of your stitch. And you can remove these pins if you want to. It's not completely necessary, but it can mess your machine up. Alright. Forgot to add the tag, but it's okay. Of course, if you were adding the tag, you would just make sure that you fold it. If you have a foldable tag, make sure you fold it, and before you pin this down, you'd stick that underneath here like this, and then top stitch it down when you went around. But this is the front, so I'm not going to do that. Like I said, this is for my child, so it's not really going to matter. Alright, so we're just going to go right back over where I started. Back stitch a little bit, pull it out, snip it, and you're good to go. That's your elastic on your waist. Really cute. And let's go see what it looks like finished. Flip them right side out for the final time. And here's your little footed leggings. They're adorable. They are perfect. Keep the little feetsies warm. You don't have to worry about putting socks on your newborn or your child. Like I said, these go up to 5 to 6 years, I believe. This is adorable. I love this. You can pair it with a little onesie or whatever you want to pair it with. T-shirt, super cute. I'm super excited to put the little baby in these. So if you guys want to tune into the name, make sure you subscribe to our family channel. Hope that you guys like this video, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.